negative about it.
Yes, people, what's happening? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another live show, and welcome back to all your latest Chelsea news. Big up to everyone that's already locked in. Make sure you smash up the like, subscribe if you're new around here, all of that good stuff. And as always, make sure you get involved in the chat. And we have got a packed show, guys. Big breaking news. Cole Palmer is fit and available to start against Arsenal on Sunday. We're going to dive into all that and what it potentially means for Chelsea heading into this game. We've got the latest on Pedro Neto, with David Ornstein reporting that Chelsea turned down an approach from a top European club in the summer window for the Portuguese winger. We've got the latest on Nicholas Jackson and the unlikelihood of Bayern Munich making his move permanent in the summer. Updates on Emanuel Emegha as well, the Strasbourg striker who scored against Crystal Palace last night, and just general Chelsea chat. By the way, guys, as you can see, I'm not in the usual setup. It's a little bit dark. I mean, the lighting all right. I'm looking a bit dark. It's the best I can do right now. I've popped down to see my mum for a couple of days and then head back for the game on Sunday. And we're back in the OG setup. And it's the lighting's a bit dim, but you can see me, so it's all good. Before I say hello to some of you lot and me dive into proceedings, make sure you check out Jerseys FC Soccer Shop, people. Link is in the description. Use code BLUEBROTHER for 20% off. Great quality, affordable prices, home kit, third kit, away kit, names, numbers, patches, whatever you want on the back. Make sure you use code BLUEBROTHER for 20% off, guys. That is enough about that. Let's say hello to some of you lot in the chat, and then we'll get this show on the road. What are people saying? Great to have Cole back. Yep, absolutely is. Big up, brother. Hope you're well. Stamford Bridge needs to be rocking. It will be, don't worry. Fantastic news about Palmer being able to play again. Would Owen come on against Leeds? Wouldn't rush him back. Look, I think he'll play against Arsenal, and we can ease him back in against Arsenal. I suspect he'll probably start against either Leeds or Bournemouth. Big up, brother. Yes, come on, bro. I'm sure we will beat this Arsenal team. Bro, it's overdue. I hope we do. But it's absolutely right. As Iron Technique says, Sunday, we go to war. This is it. It is war on Sunday. Nothing less than that. These guys need to go out and they need to go and die on the football pitch on Sunday. Yep, Palmer's back. Yes, big up, brother. Hope you're well. It's all right. Perfectly good. Palmer is fit. Yes, he is fit and ready for action. Let's dive in with that news then, straight off the bat. And that was the big news from Enzo Maresca's press conference this afternoon, saying that Cole Palmer, Grok needs to do one. Yeah, thank you. Cole Palmer is available to start against Arsenal for Chelsea. Maresca said, yes, everyone is happy. The teammates are happy. We are all happy. And the most important thing is Cole is happy because a footballer wants to play games and make the sessions every day. He is our best player. We are happy he's back. We need to give him time to be 100% fit. He has done fantastic in the past, and no doubt he is going to do very good for this club in the future. I think that line there is key. We need to give him time to be 100% fit. Now, obviously, of course, there's going to be a slight temptation to chuck him straight back in and start against Arsenal. But if other players are anything to go by, and the general pattern of things under Maresca when getting players back from injury and blooding them back into action, it's very much been a cautious first approach. He'll get maybe 20 minutes here, then a half hour, maybe a half, then an hour, and we'll gradually build him back up. Because we've got to remember, chat, like the aim here is to have Cole Palmer fit for the long term, not just fit for a few games and then he's back on the sidelines again. So I'm not saying it's going to be as extreme as what might have been with a Reece James or a Lavia or a Fofana, but I'd be stunned if he was just chucked straight back in. I really would. I wouldn't expect him to be chucked straight back in. He's not played for 2 months. His last appearance was on the 20th of September on that dreadful afternoon at Old Trafford. So, look, I think he'll be on the bench. I suspect in a best case scenario, he gets maybe 20 to 25 minutes on Sunday, which is good. 20 to 25 minutes on Sunday, no problem at all. Maybe give him then 45 minutes or an hour against Leeds. Same again against Bournemouth, and we build this guy up. Yeah, people, make sure you're smashing the likes. We're about 20 subscribers away now from 19K as well. So please smash up the subscribe button if you are new round here. Also, it would be greatly appreciated. Yeah, I'm pretty certain he will start from the bench. He's not 100% fit, but we know how influential it is, so expensive to come on. Agreed, brother. Chelsea versus Arsenal. See you all there at Stamford Bridge. Yes, see you there, brother. Palmer should get to play the cup games to build his game fitness. But the problem is, brother, we've got no cup game until December 16th away at Cardiff. No cup game until then. No cup game until then. So, yeah, that's too long to wait. We're obviously going to use him before then. But this is fantastic news, right? Because you look at what Chelsea have been able to achieve so far this season, chat. And we are sitting second in the league. We're quarterfinals of the Carabao Cup. We're in the top 8 in the Champions League. And all of that has been done with Cole Palmer barely kicking a ball for us. Think how much this team can elevate when you put a fully fit Cole Palmer back into the mix, where you've got Palmer in the 10, Esteval on the right. You've got a Joao Pedro or a Liam Delap up front, or even a Pedro Neto through the middle. Think how much better this team is going to be when that ingredient is added to the mix, when you've got the Cole Palmer Esteval link up that we are all waiting for. We are all waiting for that link up to happen. Every single one of us is waiting, and we've literally seen it for 4 minutes at the start of the game at Old Trafford against Man United, and we've seen none of it since. Absolutely none of it. So the prospect of Palmer coming back adds another dimension to the mix and gives us a huge boost heading into this game against Arsenal. It's just that extra bit of confidence, is knowing that the star man is back available again, knowing that we've got that option from the bench to change the game or to kill the game off. And Arsenal, whether they're going to admit it or not, they will be slightly concerned that Palmer is actually fit and available for this game. And what better way to reintroduce yourself to the Stamford Bridge faithful, reintroduce yourself to the Premier League as a whole, than to come back after 2 months out against Arsenal and make a match-winning contribution or a game-changing contribution. He's capable. He's absolutely capable of it. We need a win or draw against Arsenal to keep close to the top. Look, as long as we, as I said the other day, I don't want to talk about being happy with draws, because ultimately you always want to win. But as long as we don't lose, then I think that's a positive result for us. Big up, brother. Sunday will be another 3 points and we go on to the next. I hope so, bro. I hope so. Big up, bro. Busy day of work, but wanted to give a shout and happy for the news concerning Palmer. Big up, brother. Appreciate you coming in as always. Have a good day at work. Would be amazing if Palmer comes off the bench. I don't think Maresca was playing mind games. There obviously was an issue, but he's fine now. He's ready to go. So yeah. Long may that continue. Do you know what I wanted to bring up as well, guys? Is another thing that's very interesting when you look at the underlying metrics at Chelsea this season, and it's actually very impressive. I saw this posted on the Premier League. Or was it on the Premier League website? Yeah, here we go. Let me just bring it up now, chat. And look at these metrics, right? And you're gonna put Cole Palmer back into this, and Levi Colwill at some stage is going to go back into this. So this is Chelsea and Arsenal, chat, in the Premier League this season. Goals scored: 23 Chelsea, 24 Arsenal, 14 from open play for us, 12 for open play for them. 6 clean sheets to their 7. Obviously, we've conceded 11 goals compared to their 6, and we've generated a higher XG. Now, for me, these underlying metrics are very, very important. Very, very important here, because it goes to show how we're developing as a side and how well we're playing. And obviously, yes, you can contrast that with, well, what are the difficulty of fixtures that each side has played, and understand that Arsenal have probably had a trickier start to the season than we have. But ultimately, given we've had no Cole Palmer, given Liam Delap has missed a large part of the season as well, given there's been no Levi Colwill at the back, these fundamentals from us this season are very, very impressive. And it goes to show, as I said in my tweet here, that get ourselves a top quality centre-back and obviously probably a goalkeeper as well, despite the fact that Sanchez has improved a lot. Get ourselves a better goalkeeper. We're a serious outfit. There's no doubt about it in my mind. We are 100% a serious outfit if we just address those things. And that's why, that frustration comes in, because you look at what we're doing, and if we just gone and addressed the situation in the summer with getting another centre-back like the manager wanted and getting a top goalkeeper like the manager wanted, we could be in an even better position than we already are now. So it goes to show, and it bodes well, that there is a lot of room for improvement in this team. And the underlying metrics so far are very, very impressive. Yes, Wesley Fofana coming back has made a big, big difference to the defence. There's no coincidence whatsoever that his return has coincided with us keeping 4 clean sheets in a row in all competitions. Him and Chalobah are forming a decent partnership, at the back. They're forming a decent partnership at the back, and a better quality centre-back, a more aggressive centre-back playing alongside Chalobah, it has made a big difference to Trev as well. It's made his performances look much, much better as well. Look like we need to score 5. They just need 2. Bro, we need to score 5 goals. But yeah, I think Chelsea 2025 season have their balance without Palmer now. I think Maresca should bench him and triple sub. No, bro, he'll be on the bench for sure. Yes, big up, bro. Hope you're well. I think we could challenge next season for the title. Yeah, look, next season has got to be a title challenge. There's no escaping that. There is absolutely no escaping that at all. Next season, 100% has to be a title challenge. Maresca again saying in the press conference today that, we don't need to be thinking about the title until February or March. And he's absolutely spot on with what he says. You don't win the league in November. Yes, a win against Arsenal puts us 3 points behind and very much in the conversation at this stage of the season. But you need to be in the conversation February, March time. Then you can start talking about a title race. You look at Arsenal last season, they finished second. They weren't in a title race once during that season. So I don't get why there's this obsession with fans wanting with people wanting Chelsea fans to say we're in a title race. As I said, Arsenal came second last season and weren't once in a title race. Not once were they in the title race. So why should we sit here and say that, at 6 points behind, we're in the title race? We're not in a title race at 6 points back. At 3 points back, we are part of the conversation at this stage of the season, but it's not relevant because the title's not given out in November. If we're still in that position in February, March, and we come through Christmas well and we start the new year well, then that's a totally different conversation at this point in time. But for us, right now, we're not in a title race. Draw, we're not in a title race. Lose, we're not in a title race. Win, we will be at this stage of the season. But this, by the way, is impressive considering our best player hasn't played and our best defender has not been available for a large part of the season. Palmer won't start. No, I'd be stunned if he started. With the amount of money we've spent, we should challenge for the title this year. Yeah, bro, I agree. But unfortunately, the money's not always been spent in the best way. This is what we have to be honest about here. Yeah, I know, bro. They're already planning a parade. They're acting like they've already won the bloody trophy. Yes, big up, brother. Chelsea had an easy fixture at the start of the season. This is the season you should be top of the table. Look, yeah, our run at the start of the season was favourable. There's no denying it. There's absolutely no denying it. We've got big fixtures coming up and tough grounds to go to. Yeah, Palmer will be a bit rusty, and that's why we'll ease him back into action. People acting like we're not saying there's loads of games left. No, bro, I'm not saying it's you specifically, but Arsenal fans, I've seen a lot of Arsenal fans talking about like the title's won. And even if it's like, no one's going to overturn them. And people are talking about how amazing Arsenal have been. Yet a Chelsea side who many people say are not very good and get criticised quite a lot are literally only 6 points behind and could be 3 points behind at the weekend. This is what I don't really understand. This season is our season. Why wait for next season? No, brother, I'd love to agree with you, but I've got to be totally honest. Even if we beat Arsenal, I still don't think we're winning the league. If we're within 3 to 5 points come February, March, then I'll give it some more thought and I'll start taking that prospect a little bit more seriously. But right now, there's nothing to take seriously at the moment. Hello, all very excited for this game. Yeah, absolutely. Arsenal need Hubble telescope to spot their last trophy. I mean, yeah, it has been a while. But yeah, I just thought I'd bring that up, chat, because those underlying numbers there and those underlying metrics are very, very good. But ultimately for us, this Arsenal game is absolutely massive. And I agree with you, brother. I agree with you here. I said the same thing, that we could lose to Burnley or not beat Burnley and then have issues against, and then beat Barcelona and Arsenal. We beat Burnley, we beat Barcelona. This will be another level up from Barcelona, but the confidence is high in the group right now. We're playing some really good football. So there's no reason why, in my opinion, we shouldn't be going into this game full of confidence and thinking that we can beat Arsenal. Because I fully believe we can beat Arsenal. I fully believe we can. Yeah, we do. We owe the Premier League, the rest of the Premier League, a favour. We owe them a service to try and derail this Arsenal train at the moment. It looks like it's steaming towards a title, even though it is only November at this point in time. Chat, we're 7 likes away from 50. Keep smashing up the likes. And please subscribe to the channel if you are new round here as well. That would be greatly appreciated. So make sure you're running up those likes and keep subscribing. We're about 20 subs away from 19K. Please help me get there, chat. But yeah, make sure you're running the likes up. You can think or believe you're winning if you want to. Their opinions, after all. No, we don't have to agree. Absolutely, we don't have to agree. Should we recall Anselmino in January? It depends on the centre-back situation at the time. I think if Fofana stays fit, then I think we won't bother with that. Anselmino is doing very well at Dortmund right now. But if Chelsea do want to bring another centre-back in January, then I think they will look to recall Anselmino, who I think is probably having a better season than Mamadou Sarr is at this point in time. That is what I would say in regards to that. But right now, I know we're not really talking about January yet. Unless there's any ridiculous market opportunities, I expect maybe 1 or 2 players to leave. And other than that, unless a ridiculous opportunity presents itself in the window that Chelsea feel is too good to turn down, then I honestly can't see us really doing any major business. That's the reality of the situation right now. Yeah, Correa did pocket Saka last season, so let's hope that he's back on business again. We want to win, man. Yeah, of course we want to win. Look, I'd be absolutely fuming if we lose. If there's one team you don't want to lose to, it's Arsenal. You really cannot afford to lose to Arsenal. We've not beaten Arsenal, by the way, in the Premier League since 2021 at the Emirates, with Lukaku and Reece James getting the goals. And the last time we beat Arsenal at Stamford Bridge, I think, was either 2018, I think it was, or possibly 2019. That's way too long. Those days when Drogba used to own Arsenal, we'd always beat Arsenal and we'd just slap them up home and away season after season. They're very much a distant memory at the moment. They are very much a distant memory at this point in time. We've got to change the tide, because right now, Arsenal are the dominant side in London at this point in time. And we need to change that. And we need to change that very, very quickly. We can't allow them to get ahead of their station. Big up, brother. Massive news about Palmer. Yeah, there is a proper buzz around the club right now. There absolutely is. Yeah, Enciso, good game yesterday. Emegha scored as well. Really important stuff. Good to have a Sugu back in training. Yes. How many days of rest Chelsea can get after Arsenal? No, after the Arsenal game on Sunday, we play against Leeds on Wednesday. So it's 2 days. 2 days, then long trip up to Leeds. Yeah, Strasbourg were very good last night. This is a do or die match for us. We must unleash our power and secure those 3 points. If we get the first goal, Arsenal will totally fall apart. I don't know if they'll fall apart, but yeah, you know, we got to start fast, get a head of steam up. If we can take an early lead, that could definitely cause them a few issues. That could 100% cause them some issues. There's no doubt about it. Yeah, the Sons of Pep derby. Yeah, if you want to call it the Sons of Pep derby, absolutely. But yeah, I thought those bits there were quite interesting to bring up, chat. You know, because sometimes, like, you know, you sort of feel like, Chelsea not doing particularly well. You know, we need to be playing better football. The style's not that pleasing. It's not that pleasing on the eye to watch. But then sometimes, you know, you do need to take a good look at the underlying numbers. And when you see those underlying numbers compared to Arsenal, who everyone is, you know, losing their minds over with their start to the season, our start to the season is very, very similar to theirs. And ultimately, I think right now, the big difference between the two sides is the quality of the defence. The midfields are very similar. I don't think there's an awful lot of difference between the attacks either. You know, the difference between Chelsea and Arsenal, in my opinion, is the goalkeeper and the centre-backs. That is the main difference right now between the two sides. There's not a big difference, but those kind of key areas do make a big difference. Yeah, bro, he absolutely does. He does. Of course he does. But people hopefully people will start waking up and paying him that respect. Because yeah, I'm with you, brother. He is deserving of major respect. There's no doubt about it. The key to this game is taking our chances, no missing sitters. Yep, I agree. We've got to be absolutely ruthless and on it, defending very well in both boxes. And yeah, we've got to be clinical in front of goal, which in fairness, we have been in recent weeks. So fair play to us on that one. Arteta will be very cagey. He'll be pragmatic, banking on set pieces. This is the thing. We need to make sure that we defend set pieces very, very well. You think Maresca drops Neto or Garnacho? Very tough decision. It is a tough decision. If I was Maresca, I'd be tempted to go with the same team. But I suspect what will happen is if he doesn't go with the same team, if he brings a Joao Pedro or a Delap in, I suspect it will be Garnacho that misses out, and it will be Pedro Neto shifted over to the left-hand side. But I'd be half tempted to go with the same team. I really would be. Same team against Gunners as played against Barcelona. Yeah, potentially, although I'd even be tempted to keep the exact same team anyway that have played so well. It just depends whether Maresca thinks that setup is going to suit playing Arsenal as well. No, not a new setup. I'm just back. I've just come down to see my mum for a couple of days. So yeah, this is the OG setup from the beginning days. So yeah, there we are. Maresca does amazing with what he has. You know, he absolutely has done a very, very good job. Raya makes as much mistakes as Sanchez. No, look, Raya has made a few mistakes this season, but generally speaking, he's a more solid option in goal than Robert Sanchez is. I think we have to be fair. I think we have to be fair on that one. If Arsenal don't win the league this year, Arteta needs to be fired. I mean, look, it is what it is at the end of the day. I really don't mind whether he stays or goes. It doesn't really make any difference to me personally. Yeah, maybe you do go to Delap. I mean, Delap was preferred from the bench against Barcelona over Pedro. He got a goal. Maybe you stick Delap in from the off and you go a bit more physical. You try and rough up what will probably be Saliba and Piero Hincapié. Maybe you look to do that. Maybe you look to rough them up as a possibility. I don't really know, but that certainly, yeah, why not? Don't change what's working well. I agree on that. Santos or Gusto in midfield. This is a really tricky one because Gusto, I felt, had a very good half against Barcelona, but then he was taken off because he was on a booking. Santos played very well as well. You'd almost be tempted, Reece James and then Santos and Caicedo. I mean, that's the whole reason, you know, we bought players like Andre Santos in, so we didn't have to play Reece James in midfield and you could deploy him at right back. But maybe we do go Santos. I mean, I think that's the only... That for me, there's two choices to be made here, right? Do you revert back to an actual striker up front in a Pedro or a Delap? And do you play Gusto? Do you put Santos in midfield and play James at right back, or do you stick Gusto at right back and put James in midfield? I think those are the only two decisions, in my view, that actually need to be taken. Do our young players even understand this rivalry? Yeah, no, I think they do. I think they do. I think, obviously there's players that have been here for a long time that understand the rivalry. I think a lot of the new guys understand the rivalry as well. So obviously not going to understand it as well as players that have been there and played it and been there for a long time, but they'll be made fully aware of how important this game is. They'll be made fully aware of that. We can't start Santos. He's our only backup central midfield player. Bro, we can start Santos. No, possibly, maybe not. But it's, you can definitely make a very strong case for it. You can definitely make a very strong case for it, in my opinion. I don't see why you couldn't make a strong case for it. Palmer scores off the bench. We will be there. Brother, we will be there, and the limbs will be mad. Delap up front and Pedro on the left. Yeah, potentially. Yeah, I remember that. Who says no? I say no. Yeah, that was cold from Reese back on the timeline. That was quite a while ago now, but yeah. Palmer's return, only right he scores the winner for us. Yeah, only right he scores the winner. Arsenal do need to be humbled, I agree. Chat, we're going to get back to the game a little bit later. I just wanted to go through a few transfer bits and pieces before we go through a lineup situation. And we've had The Athletic release a bit of a look ahead to the sort of the 2026 transfer season. And there are a couple of interesting bits in there in regards to Chelsea. And David Ornstein reporting that Chelsea turns down an approach for Pedro Neto at the end of the last window from a top European club, which shows the regard in which he is held at Stamford Bridge and beyond. Now, we didn't hear about this at the time, and we don't know who the club was. But given Pedro Neto's form last season, given how well he did at the Club World Cup, given his form this season, he started every single Premier League game and he's making important contributions. Obviously, that form and what he's doing is going to attract interest from other clubs. Now, who that club was, I've got absolutely no idea. Was it a Bayern Munich? Was it a PSG? Was it one of the Spanish clubs? Was it an English club? We don't really know. So Chelsea turned down an approach for Neto. Yeah, bro, Neto does deserve more respect, I think. I don't think enough people respect what he does. And look, I've been critical of him at times just because I'm expecting more output from him. And he is now starting to deliver that output. He's got the work rate, the versatility. The output now is starting to come. He's making important contributions in an attacking and defensive standpoint. So this, for me, is someone that is a very, very important part of the team, a very, very important player for Chelsea, and a player who Maresca implicitly trusts. What in terms of other bits that have been added here, however, Esteval's emergence and the arrival next summer of Quenda gives Maresca two right-sided options to complement Garnacho and Gittins on the left. If that proves the case, some big decisions might await Neto and Chelsea in 2026. Now, what I would say about this, and this is something that I've spoken about numerous times in the past. Now, you would look at this and you would think, right, Giovanni Quenda is predominantly a right winger. Esteval has been playing on the right. Neto plays on the right. Quenda is versatile, could also play on the left if needed, but probably better on the right-hand side. The same with Pedro Neto. However, I was sort of umming and ahhing about this, and I was very much of the opinion that someone's going to need to leave to make room for Quenda. I am now slightly revising that opinion because reports have suggested that Chelsea's plan for Esteval in the next couple of years is to shift him inside and play him as a number 10. Chelsea believe Esteval is going to be a number 10 and they're going to move him, and the plan is going to be to move him inside. And therefore, if you do that, that then leaves two options on the right wing in Esteval and Quenda. In Quenda and Neto. That leaves you Palmer and Esteval as number 10 options, and then Gittins and Garnacho on the left, and it leaves you Emegha, Delap, and João Pedro in the number 9 spots. Now, people might think, oh, 5 wingers is too many to have. But if Chelsea convert Esteval into a number 10, who also plays wide occasionally, then it's 2 right wingers, 2 left wingers, and then 2 number 10s. And people need to realise that, you know, we're going to play so many games again next season, injuries, and we know how much Maresca likes to rotate. And so having an extra option in there in Giovanni Quenda, I don't think is going to make too much difference. So I'm sort of now thinking of it with the emergence of the news that Chelsea are probably going to make Esteval number 10, then I don't see the need for anyone to actually leave in the attack. I really don't see the need for that. I mean, maybe that's me just being a bit naive, and you never know what Chelsea might do. And you know that, you know, you can never really rest on your laurels. There are very, very few players in this squad who are deemed to be untouchable. But Pedro Neto, I think, could potentially be moving towards untouchable status at Chelsea at this current point in time. Like, he's 25 years of age. He should be coming into the prime years of his career. There should be no doubt about that. You've got the Neto and Quenda Portuguese link up. Absolutely. Quenda doesn't need to adjust. You clearly don't watch the kid. Yeah, look, I agree. Quenda will go straight into the first team and compete for minutes. Yes, he'll be managed in a similar way to Esteval, I'd imagine, where he'll be bedded in and he'll be given minutes here and there, but there'll be no loan spell for Quenda. Absolutely not. Chelsea have already contacted Quenda to tell him that he's very much going to go straight in and be part of the first team plans. Quenda was brilliant for Sporting Lisbon in the Champions League the other night as well. Really, really good. You know, put in a very good performance. Yeah, Quenda's ready. Yeah, he can play on the left, but he's not as good on the left. But he's probably going to have to, improve his versatility if he's going to come and play for Chelsea, because Maresca likes those versatile attackers. He likes those versatile attackers. Well, Kenji Pires is on loan at Strasbourg at the moment. Yeah, he will return to Chelsea in the summer. Quite what the plan is, I don't really know, but I don't, at this point in time, really see much of a look-in for him at Chelsea at the moment. Yeah, I mean, I've not seen too much of Pires at Strasbourg this season. I think there's been a few good bits here and there, but on the whole, you know, from kind of what I've read, it doesn't really seem like he's particularly impressed. But it can be difficult. It can be difficult, you know. There's no denying it. There's no denying it. It can be difficult. So yeah, we have to wait and see. We do have to wait and see. I don't know if it's as simple as that, bro. I really don't know if it's as simple as, oh, it's just down to money. If someone bids 60 or 65 million for Neto, then we'll kind of just bid him off. I don't really think that's the case. Obviously, there's always that thought in the back of your mind when it comes to Chelsea that might be something that happens. But I would still be surprised, given how important a first-team player Pedro Neto is. And whatever people think of this ownership, one thing they've not done is sell any key first-team players, any really important first-team players. They haven't sold them. They simply haven't sold them. So I think they do deserve a little bit of credit on that front. They really do. Yeah, look, Pires may need another season on loan, and ultimately Pires may not make it at Chelsea. You know, I think there's a very, very good chance that Pires doesn't make it at Chelsea. But you know, that's just the way it goes. No, perhaps it's not. Perhaps it's not. I'd rather keep Neto and send Gittins on loan if needs be. I don't think Chelsea will be sending Gittins on loan. No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. One of the main reasons that Quenda chose Chelsea over Man United is because he wants to play wide. He doesn't want to play as a wing-back, and we don't play wing-backs anyway. Yeah, I absolutely agree there. Absolutely agree. Yeah, I'm starting to, at this current point, and a lot can change, I'm very much starting to think now that, yeah, they're looking at potentially flipping Pires. I think Pires could easily easily be flipped. Yeah. Really feel like we can make a statement on Sunday if we only do our best and finish our chances. I agree. Yeah, look, they played a good amount for Gittins. Yeah, no, absolutely. They're not going to loan him out. Look, they've got lots of options. Chelsea have always spoken about wanting so many options, and the Pedro Neto one is interesting. But yeah, no, look, he's a top player, a top player. So we'll see. We can see. Gittins is starting to get into his game, yeah. Yeah, look, you can't have them all. And ultimately, this is what people need to realise, right? Is that, Chelsea will sign a lot of players, but it's kind of, you can kind of tell the ones who are going to be signed to feature in the first team and kind of ones that have sort of signed with making profit in mind. I think Kendry Páez is viewed as a flip, in my opinion. I think he'll be sold for a profit. Personally speaking, I do. I mean, I could be wrong, but I think he's going to be sold for a profit. Yeah, Gittins is starting to find a little bit of form. He's starting to find some form. He's definitely improved in recent weeks compared to how he started this season. He has definitely improved. There's no doubt about that. Gittins has shown signs of improvement. Yeah, and again, Satpaev, I think, will go on loan to Strasbourg next season. I suspect that he will replace Emanuel Emegha in the squad. He'll go on loan to Strasbourg, I'd imagine. But again, look, Chelsea's getting all these youngsters. This doesn't mean all these youngsters are going to play. But it gives them the option to develop them, sell them for a profit, or get these players in the team for cheap. That's the model, and that's the way that it's going to be. I've not seen enough of Páez at Strasbourg this season, but yeah, there hasn't been much. Yeah, Garnacho has in general been better than Gittins this season. Yeah, he does in all competitions. Gittins does have the most assists. Bayern are really poor in defending corners. That's why they did not play like they played against us. They were also at home when they played against us. I think if Arsenal had gone to the Emirates, Bayern would have played if Arsenal had gone to the Allianz, Arsenal would have played very, very differently. And Bayern would have played differently as well. Yeah, the Gittins cross to Neto was brilliant at Burnley. It was really, really good. Chat, we're on 70 likes, over 100 people in the building. Make sure you smash those likes. Make sure you smash the likes, chat. Run those likes up. Get this up to 100 likes. Very, very simple. Smash that like button. And keep subscribing if you are new round here as well. It would really, really help me out. You'd have no idea how much it helps me out, chat. So make sure you do that. It would be very much appreciated. So make sure you keep doing your thing, people. Make sure you keep doing your thing. Make sure you keep doing it, chat. What else have we got going on here? Yeah, Palmer is back. No Mbappe in January. I don't know what people were playing at with that nonsense. Satpaev will go to Strasbourg. Satpaev is not going to be part of the Chelsea team next season. No chance. Not with Emegha, Delap and João Pedro there. He's going on loan. He's only 17 years of age. He's going straight on loan. I actually think Gittins starts versus Arsenal. No, I don't think he will. Yeah, we're gonna get onto that in a sec. We are going to get onto that. Anyway, let's move away from that Neto thing. But yeah, an interesting conversation to say the least. And we're going to move on to another transfer situation, which again is not a surprise. Not a surprise at all. I remember saying this in the summer, and there's no surprises again whatsoever with this one on Nicholas Jackson. There is next to no chance of Nicholas Jackson fulfilling the obligations necessary to make the Bayern move permanent, 40 starts in all competitions, or Bayern choosing to sign him without a major renegotiation of the pre-agreed £57 million fee. Chelsea has no interest in changing the conditions. Now, we knew this. We knew this at the start. We knew this when this happened, right? And then the news first broke that Jackson, that the obligation was 40 starts in all comps. That was never, ever happening. I'm sure Chelsea were hoping that Bayern might look to sign Jackson anyway if he does well. He scored 4 goals in 14 appearances in all competitions. Any return to Chelsea, I think those bridges are firmly burnt. But there is believed to be interest in the Premier League, and there will be interest from clubs in Europe in Jackson as well. Clubs in Italy, I'm sure clubs in Spain will be interested, and there will be Premier League interest. Jackson's got 4 goals in 14 appearances in all comps. And again, he's very much playing second fiddle to Harry Kane, also to Luis Diaz as well. Once Jamal Musiala comes back into this team, that's going to push Jackson probably even further down the pecking order, because he probably won't be playing striker with Harry Kane in the 10. So yeah, it's not looking great, and Chelsea are going to have to revisit this scenario in the summer. I mean, that was always going to be the case. It was always going to be the case that Bayern, were never going to activate this clause. You know, they never wanted Jackson on a permanent basis. They were never going to want him on a permanent, and that is very much turning out to be the case at the moment. So yeah, it's not changing, is it? It's not changing. And we have to do that all again in the summer. We have to do it all again in the summer. Look, I stand by it. I like Nicholas Jackson. I think he's a very good player. I would have kept him, as you lot know all too well. I would have kept him in the summer, but obviously we chose not to. There's obviously something went wrong. Jackson doesn't want to return to the team. And Jackson doesn't want to return to the team. Yeah, Aston Villa is a possibility. Newcastle, maybe. I think Aston Villa in the Premier League is the most likely one. I don't think Jackson has cost Chelsea games. I don't think he has cost Chelsea games. What games has Jackson cost us? All right, away at Newcastle, yes, I hear it. But and maybe that Club World Cup game against Flamengo. But this idea that Jackson has cost Chelsea loads of games, I just don't subscribe to that. I just don't subscribe to that trail of thought whatsoever. I have to be perfectly honest. Jackson Jackson in the end wanted to leave, but I'm not really sure what went on there. I don't really know what went on there. But bro, look, he had 1 red card against Newcastle and a red card in the Club World Cup. Let's not pretend that Jackson was the problem with our discipline, because we've picked up so many red cards this season without Nicholas Jackson. So I don't think that was the case. Bro, he still scored a lot. He scored 40 odd goals across 2 seasons at the club. He wasn't terrible. And I'm not, look, at the end of the day, he shouldn't have been signed to be a first choice striker, and that should never have been the intention for where he's at that stage of his career. But as part of the squad, he would have been a very, very useful. By the way, I'm telling you now, if Jackson had done what Delap did against Wolves in the Carabao, the reaction would have been so different. the reaction would have been so different. He would have been absolutely battered. He would have been absolutely battered, if that had been Jackson compared to Delap. He really would have been. Jackson's a great squad player to have in that centre-forward role. Really good squad player to have. And, look, there's no point going over it again. But, we would have been better with him in the squad this season, in my view. In my view, we'd have been better in the squad with him. No, look, I do like Delap, but Jackson's obviously more down the line with his development than Delap is at this stage. But now, look, the chance of Jackson coming back's gone. He doesn't really want to come back, and we've gone and signed Emanuel Emegha. So, yeah, there's no point talking about Jackson coming back. We're going to have to deal with the Nicholas Jackson thing again in the summer. And, there's absolutely no surprises there whatsoever that we're going to be looking for another striker. We're going to be looking to sell Jackson again in the summer, and hopefully we can find a suitor, and hopefully we can get around that 55-60 million pounds for him, depending how well he does for Bayern and how much he plays. But hardly a surprise there. I think that's the news that we all expected, and deep down we all really knew. Just a quick little bit on Emanuel Emegha before we move back to the Arsenal game and going through a lineup. Interesting here from the Zarkan Seller on Emanuel Emegha. Now, Emegha's obviously signed 7-year contract at Chelsea, scored against Crystal Palace last season. He's coming at the end of last night, and he's coming at the end of the season to Chelsea. A host of Champions League clubs, reportedly including AC Milan and Tottenham, were believed to have shown interest in Emegha before Chelsea swooped in with an agreement that gave him one further year in France before making his move to the Premier League. Now, Emegha, 22 years of age, is the captain at Strasbourg, got 14 goals in Liga last season. A very interesting profile. He's rapid, but he's 6'5" as well. Seems to be a good finisher. And he's going to give us another interesting dimension to the Chelsea attack. It's going to be a very interesting dimension to the Chelsea attack, And I think he's a decent player. He's going to be another good option to have. Yes, it's not the prolific striker that many fans want. But again, with João Pedro, with Delap, with Emegha, it feels like all major bases are covered. It feels like the major bases in terms of having centre forwards. And so, there's no surprise that other clubs were interested in him. But given the relationship with us and Strasbourg, we were always going to be able to step in and get the job done. So, Strasbourg star striker and captain Emanuel Emegha is improving before his Chelsea move next summer, according to Strasbourg president Mark Keller. A host of Champions League clubs reportedly, we've done that. When asked about the situation, Keller said, "For us, it was important to keep Emegha because he's an important player. Emegha is improving. He came 2 years ago. He's now captain of the team. He was injured. He came back, scored a few goals. He's improving. He's also a man with a lot of character, a good guy." Emegha is doing really well at Strasbourg. A couple of years ago, he was playing in the Austrian league with Sturm Graz. So his development has been very quick as well, from 2 years ago. Barco, a very good player as well. He's another player he was at Brighton, Barco. And he's doing very well. Guiu was always going to be a flip for profit player because look, the only reason that Guiu was signed was because there was a cheap release clause in his contract. He was, what was he? 6 million. It was 6 million. It was £5 million release clause. If that wasn't there, Chelsea are never signing him. And so that was there. Guiu's done okay, but there's no long-term future for Mark Guiu at Chelsea, and we'll very much be looking to move him on as quickly as possible. 100%, we'll be looking to move him on as quickly as possible. No, I don't think so. I don't think Emegha is going to be turning into a criminal. Bro, Victor Osimhen's not coming to Chelsea. Not coming. Any chance we may go for Enciso eventually? If he does well, yes. But again, we're so well stocked in those positions that, you know, the chances of Enciso actually coming to Chelsea, in my opinion, are very, very slim. The Osimhen ship has long sailed. Long sailed. That is that's long gone, guys. Long gone. Chat, we're 15 likes away from 100. Make sure you're smashing up the like button. It's free. It takes seconds. Get this to 100 likes. And please subscribe if you are new round here. We are 20 subscribers away from 19K. Come on, chat. Let's get those subscribers up. Let's get it done, people. If Fofana's still under contract, yeah, of course he is. Yeah, fair. No, we haven't got rid of Fofana. No, Fofana's been class in the last few games for us. Fofana has been brilliant in the last few games for Chelsea. But anyway, just thought I'd cover those little bits of transfer news that have sort of come out today. And let's get back to the Arsenal game and let's talk. Let's talk lineup. Let's talk starting lineup for the Arsenal game. Now, this is only what I would go with. But I remember the other day for the Barcelona game, I was pretty much spot on with the Neto thing down the middle. Not many people were thinking that was a possibility, and I was bang on with it. Right, let me just get this lineup up, and then we'll get cooking, chat. Then we'll get cooking. Okay, here we go, guys. Here we go. Right then, people. It's pretty obvious. Sanchez in goal. Cuckoo at left back again after that world-class performance against Lamine Yamal. He now needs to pocket Bukayo Saka. I don't think he'll have an issue pocketing Saka. We then stick with what is our best centre-back partnership right now in Trevor Chalobah and Fofana. I think Tuesday, Sunday is more than enough time for Fofana to recover. If it had been Wednesday, Saturday, I don't think Fofana plays in this game. But Tuesday, Sunday, I would fully expect him to play. And that partnership is starting to look quite solid. It's 4 wins and 4 clean sheets in a row. And Chalobah and Fofana have played in 3 of those games. And Chalobah's been part of all of those games. I am going to go Gusto at right back because I actually like what Gusto brings, particularly in this big game setup. I think that overlapping right back from Gusto is actually really good for us. And I know this might seem a little bit, bro, I promise you now, there's absolutely no chance we're going for tossing in this game. I promise you, absolutely no chance. Look, Andre Santos would definitely deserve to start. I just feel up against Declan Rice, Zubimendi, that he will look to trust Caicedo. He will obviously trust Caicedo, but I mean, I think he trusts Reece James in there more to combat the likes of Rice and Zubimendi than he would Andre Santos. And that might seem a bit harsh, and Santos has done very well in the last couple of games, but I still think that this is what Maresca likes to go with in big games, and I don't see any reason necessarily for that setup to change. I don't really see why that should change either. So I'm going to go James and Caicedo. I'm going Enzo Fernandez there. Enzo Fernandez was absolutely outstanding against Barcelona. He was absolutely brilliant. One of his best performances in a Chelsea shirt, one for the archives, no doubt about it. I'm going Esteval on the right-hand side for me. He can't not start. He has to start in this game. He has to. And that means that Pedro Neto, for me, switches over to the left-hand side. And I would actually play Liam Delap up front in this one. Did well against Barcelona, got the goal. And I think his physicality and his running in behind, because he is a willing runner, I think that is going to cause Arsenal more problems than, say, a João Pedro. Although if he wants runners in behind, maybe he would go with Neto, but then he haven't really got the physicality standpoint. Bench. He'll be on the bench. He's not played for 2 months. I'd be shocked if Cole Palmer started this game. I really would be very, very shocked if Palmer started the game. I'm not saying that he won't start it 100%, but I'd be very, very surprised. Very, very surprised. I don't expect Palmer to start this game. I don't expect it at all. But I expect him to play some part as well. But yeah, I think we're gonna. I think we've got a very good chance of winning this game. I wouldn't be totally surprised if Maresca went with the exact same team because the performance against Barcelona was outstanding. Palmer's ready to start this Arsenal game, Maresca said, but I don't see him starting. I think he could start against Leeds and he could certainly start against Bournemouth as well. He could certainly start against Bournemouth. No doubt about it. He could absolutely start against Bournemouth. He could be ready to start against Leeds. But almost certainly he'll be ready to start against Bournemouth. That much is absolutely clear. He'll definitely be ready to start against Bournemouth. But look, I think you could make a case for Andre Santos. I just think Maresca is going to trust Reece James in there just a little bit more than Santos right now, despite the fact that Santos has played. Despite the fact that Santos has played very well recently, in the last couple of games, I still think he's just going to go with Delap. I really do. But I could be wrong. I could be wrong. But yeah, I don't think João Pedro is going to come back in. Personally, I don't see that. I think he'll be on the bench again. We'll have to see on that. But I'm no. He's been absolutely superb. He has been brilliant since coming back in, and he is really the main reason as to why our defense has improved in the last few weeks, because he's been outstanding. He's been absolutely brilliant. He's been fantastic. He does, but and part of me feels like this is why he's not going to change it, because I think he values all of those players. He absolutely values all of those players. That's why I feel that maybe actually, you know what, he won't change this. Yeah, potentially. Yeah, Esteban has to start. There's no way he can't start. Yeah, no, he is. I think people forget how good he is because he's been so injured over the last few years. But no, he is absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I mean, look, that would be incredible, and we can all hope for that. We can all hope for that. Yeah, it's a possibility, although I'd expect him to play Martinelli. But yeah. Yeah, it depends what Maresca's looking for. It depends what he's looking for. It really does. But yeah, that's the team that I'd be going with. And I think that's an excellent side. I think it's an excellent side, chat. I think it's a really, really good side. So yeah, we're gonna wait and see. We're gonna wait and see. But yeah, I think that's gonna be very, very good. Arsenal won't play like Barca. Yeah, no, they won't play like Barcelona. They'll be better than them. But he's not going to play Esteban on the left, Brian. Esteban has to start this game. He has to, in my opinion. So yeah, we'll see on that. We'll see on that. Chat, we're 7 likes away from 100. Make sure you are smashing that like button. It's free. It takes seconds to do. Make sure you run it up. Run it up. Run it up. Let's get this to 100 likes ASAP. Final 7 likes, chat, and please subscribe if you're new around here as well. We're edging ever closer to the 19K. Come on, you guys. Ignatius a run-up, and that game suited him, not this one where it'll be tight. Let's wait and see. Yeah, that's probably what's going to happen kind of going forwards. But for this game, I don't see that being the case. No, I wouldn't. I mean, I thought it would be. I think we can win this game 2-1, but I also wouldn't be surprised if it's a 1-1 draw. Big up to you, brother. To be fair, bro, the left wing options, look, they're not amazing, but those players have contributed so far this season. So yeah, it's not awful. I think we have to be fair there. It definitely isn't awful. Definitely not awful. So yeah, there we go. There we go. But yeah, what are we saying, guys? What are we saying? Yeah, Estebal's got to start. We need our best attacking players on the pitch. And Estebal does actually do a lot of his defensive work. He does do a lot of his defensive work as well. Yeah, that's mental. I don't see that being the case. Although, look, stranger things have happened and it could be wrong. But yeah, I don't expect that to be the case. I'd be very, very surprised if that was the case. But hey, let's wait and see. Yeah, he's ready to start. Doesn't mean that he will start. I don't see him starting personally. I really don't. But again, I could be wrong, guys. I could very much be wrong. So we will wait and see. It's mad how we only buy elite left-footed players. Yeah. Could well be. No, and to be fair, they haven't for quite a while now. Which also does make you a bit nervous, doesn't it? Because it almost feels like there's one almost due to happen, and you really don't want that to be the case. But it does feel like one moment is due to happen at some point. I'd like to congratulate the Chelsea boys at Strasbourg. Yeah, we did. Strasbourg put in a good performance last night. They did put in a good performance last night. There's no denying that. No denying that whatsoever. They put in a good performance. What else have we got going on? What else have we got going on? bro, he's not played for 2 months. You don't just chuck. It's poor management to just chuck someone back in after not playing for 2 months and just put him straight into the lineup. We don't seem to do things like that at Chelsea anymore, and so that's why I would be very surprised if that were to be the case. I wouldn't start João Pedro in this game. No, I wouldn't. People might think that's a little bit mad, but no, I wouldn't start João Pedro in this game. Is that a ridiculous thing to say? I don't think it is personally. No, I don't think it is. Look, not ideal, but if we're being fair, Anthony Taylor hasn't been that bad for us in the last few games. Hopefully that continues and it's not a problem. No, not right now. We're not. Not right now. We're not. No. I don't think he will. Fafana's actually very good in the air. Despite him not being the tallest. But I wouldn't. I don't think he's going to change the centre back pairing. No. Yeah, no. A lot of Arsenal fans are saying that Chelsea have got absolutely no chance. Look, Arsenal are absolutely favourites, but I think it's massively disingenuous and underestimating us to say that Chelsea have got no chance in this game. I don't agree with that sentiment whatsoever. I think Chelsea have very much got a chance in this game. I think they very much got a chance in this game. No, I don't think so. No. Yeah, because you're playing better than us right now. Of course, but it wouldn't be it wouldn't be like a total shock, like some sort of cup upset with a lower division side if Chelsea actually won. We're playing well at the moment. We've got a good team, we've got good players. We're at home. Yes, I know we've not beaten Arsenal for a few years, but it wouldn't be a complete surprise if we won. It really wouldn't. I don't really get why people are acting like it would be such a huge surprise if Chelsea were to get the job done. I just find that. I don't know. I just find that a bit strange. But maybe that's just me. Yeah, bro. I mean, look, we don't need to be chatting loads. At the end of the day, the talking will be done on the pitch, and then all the receipts will be there, and we can just sit back and laugh at them. So there we go. But I think it's also important not to overreact, guys, if we do lose this game. I think it's important not to overreact if we do lose. But look, I'm confident we can get a result. There's no reason, in my opinion, why we can't get a result. We need to find a similar level of performance to Barcelona or more levels of performance than Barcelona if we can. But I think it's going to be good. I think it's going to be a good game. I think it's going to be a very, very good game. Yeah, I know. We used to have their number in the Mourinho days and when Drogba was there causing a madness. But yeah, those days are sadly few and far between at the moment. Sadly, they are few and far between. I don't think a loss is not unacceptable. It depends on the context surrounding the loss, but a loss is not unacceptable. It isn't. Obviously, you'd be very frustrated, very disappointed, but it's not unacceptable to lose against a team who are the best in Europe and are much further down the line in their development process than we are. Obviously, we're not going into this game looking to lose, but to say it would be unacceptable to lose, I think is far too strong. But yeah, look, we can get the job done. 100% we can get the job done. So, but I think this will be a tight game. I think this will be a tight game. I think it'll be a goal in it either way. I'd be stunned if we do lose. It will be by the odd goal. I'd be stunned if we got turned over. I don't think we're going to get turned over. No way. No way are we getting turned over by Arsenal at home. Look, we can obviously lose, but I don't think we're going to get turned over. I don't see us getting turned over. Maybe that's me being naive, but I don't see us getting turned over. But who knows? Who knows? No, right now they're playing. Right now they're the best team in Europe on current form. There's no point trying to escape that. As much as that pains us to say it, they are the best team in Europe right now on current form. Yes, that doesn't get you any trophies. Yes, that doesn't mean anything necessarily right now, but they are the best team in Europe right now. And you know, it wouldn't be a surprise if we lost. That's all I'm saying. No one's gonna let people. We're not gonna let them win the game, but we just got to be honest of where Arsenal are right now. Hopefully, yeah. Thank you, brother. Big up to you. Appreciate the kind words. Thank you, bro. I think it'll be a game of chess. These big games do tend to be like chess games. So yeah, I think it's going to be tricky. I think it's going to be tricky. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, we're talking about current form. PSG's current form is not better than Arsenal's current form. But anyway, it's kind of nitpicking here. But yeah, trust in Esteval, absolutely. Absolutely. And so yeah, look, chat, we've got a good chance here. I'm not saying there's no chance. There's absolutely a chance. And I think we've got a very, very good chance. But it's going to require us to be at our absolute best, and it's probably going to require Arsenal to have a little bit of an off day. If we're being honest, we're going to need to be at our absolute ruthless best, and Arsenal are going to have a slight off day, and then you know I think we can do it. But yeah, look, we'll see come the end of the season. All I'm saying is that I don't think there's anything. I hope we don't lose. I hope we don't lose this game. But there's no point being naive or just trying to play the big one and you know show chest or whatever when you don't believe that. You know, I believe we can win this game, but I'm also equally aware that we're not the favourites and Arsenal could easily beat us. You know that's the reality. You know. Yeah, guys, keep smashing up the likes. Keep doing your thing, people. Keep doing your thing. Yeah, look, there's no title race in fucking November, December time. Get yourself to February, March, and then reassess the situation then. But we do need to make sure that we're within touching distance. That's obviously the most important thing. But we need to settle into the game quickly, and we need to start fast. Absolutely, that we need to do that. Yeah, we need to send them back in there. Let's hope that we do. Yeah, smash up the likes, people. Smash up the likes. I don't know if there will be. I don't care who scores. I don't know. I don't care how it happens. We just need. Yeah, we need the goal. We need the goal big time. Big time we need it. But yeah, chat. Get your score predictions. Get your score predictions in, guys. Get your score predictions in. What are we saying for this game? I'm going to go for a 2-1 Chelsea win. I'm feeling like we can get the job done. And I'm always going to back the boys. We do show up in the big games. Chat, get your score predictions in. I want to see what you lot are saying. We've got a 2-0 2-0. If we kept a clean sheet, I'd be very surprised. When I said I'd be surprised if we kept a clean sheet against Barca, and we did. So who knows? We've got 2-0s in there. We've got a 2-1. We've got a 3-0. People, keep the predictions coming in. What are you lot saying? 2-0, a massive 3 points. Wouldn't be surprised if it was 2-all, fair. 2-1 Chelsea. Yeah, keep them coming in, guys. I mean, we do owe them because they smashed us 5-0 the other season. But yeah, 2-all draw, fair enough. Yeah, a bit of score draw. Chelsea and Arsenal at Stamford Bridge does tend to be a score draw, doesn't it? It does tend to be like a 1-all. But let's hope we can flip the script on that one. Let's hope we can flip the script on it. 2-1, 3-2 win, 2-1. We're going to lose 3-0. Fair. Fair enough. Predicting a 3-0 loss. Or have you just written it the wrong way around? I don't know, but that's how it reads. 1-0 Chelsea. Yeah, fair. Right, guys, I am going to round this one out now. Big up to everybody who has locked in tonight. I appreciate each and every single one of you. Appreciate all of the support. If you haven't done so already, make sure you check out the match preview with Potts. It's out now on the channel, so go and check it out. After I've rounded this show out, go and check out the match preview with Potts ahead of the big game against Arsenal. We go into it in more detail there, get the Arsenal lowdown as well. So please go and show that video some love. Leave a comment, smash a like on it. Guys, I'll be back tomorrow with some more content, I think, as well. So make sure you stay tuned in for that. Yeah, enjoy the rest of your Friday night. Love for the support as always. Appreciate each and every single one of you. Smash the likes on the show. Subscribe if you're new around here. Get me to that 19K mark. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Up the Chelsea, and we are out of here. Love.